Welcome in. A little shorter stream today. I wanted to hold off until Powell was done speaking. So, going to be kind of a little speed session here right now. We'll kind of try to get through as much stuff as possible here within the next 25 minutes or so. I do want to touch on the one tracked flow alert that came out today, the QBTS 4217 call. This one currently just kind of chopping here. Whale is still in, plenty of time on these, 2% out of the money, very low multi-leg. Just kind of looking at these right now here. Let me pop this here. These actually looked pretty good. Let's just pop this in here. So this is our one tracked flow alert for the day. Again, very nice looking flow here. IV spikes when that flow comes in. Spot is filling the ask here. IV stays up that entire time. Spot fills with that ask that entire time. We look pretty good here. Again, plenty of time on there. Little drawdown with Powell kind of taking down the market, but this one whale still in, looking fantastic. I actually really like this one. I'm gonna probably grab some now actually since Powell is done speaking. Little discounted entry on those. Other than that, I do want to go back. I want to circle back to one of the trades we were talking about in yesterday's stream here. So this wasn't a trade idea. This is just one we kind of came across yesterday during the stream here. So we were talking about how I usually always hammer on not all ask side is an opening trade. So yesterday we had 2,100 contracts traded on Uber, and this is one that we were talking about, and I hammered on this very hard in yesterday's stream about you have to check open interest. It's 751 contracts here, then you had 750 here at the ask. Now, one of those people on Twitter, Furu's, whatever, could have posted and said, hey, they're adding here. And again, I hammered on this in the live yesterday. Not all ask side flow is a buy or an add-on. We only had 800 contracts carry over here. So as we were talking about yesterday there, so we were this was actually a handoff here. So this original whale here, the 751, passed contracts off to somebody else. So that's why you're only seeing about 800 contracts carry over, and you're not seeing that full 750 there because you do have some retail traders coming in here as well too, or a little earlier in the day. But this was a handoff and perfect example there with only 800 of those carrying over. Now we would have known this whale actually would have added if we would have had this be about a little higher than that, about 3,200 or so, give or take a couple there. But nope, this was a handoff. This is one that I saved just so we could kind of go back and touch on. But yeah, let's kind of head over to the market tide and we'll touch on Periscope. And if any of you guys have any flow requests, please drop them in the chat and I'll hit those as quickly as I can here since we're a little short on time here. So market tide right now, market tide is pretty bearish still right now. So when I'm saying it's bearish, you're seeing a lot of put volume coming in here. You're not seeing massive spikes in that put premium. Your put premiums are just slightly ask side, but it's considered bearish because we're seeing a lot more put volume here, and your call premiums are a little deeper selling off here than your puts there. So it's not something I would trade since there's not really any strong ask side conviction on that one, but this is considered bearish here. And Periscope here, if you guys kind of saw me touch on that in the main chat when Powell started, I'm not big on trading when Powell's speaking. Obviously, you can see his words move the market quickly, but let me go back to actually that kind of 1 o'clock when he started here. So you could see a lot of that positioning when we were up here. It was kind of to that downside again. A lot of long puts here, and this is why I like having that positions tab open on Periscope. It's pretty much your blueprint here, and I'm watching that 66.15 level. If we do for some reason get down there, there are a lot of short puts there, but you can see long puts coming in here, and they were short calls up here, so it was pretty much aiming to the downside there. Again, obviously Powell's speech can turn us any way there. Lilu, so if you come up here to this little show filters thing, you can do that dual view there. So I just have that gamma and that positions on there. And if you want to do like Vanna and Charm and all that too, you can kind of do it that way as well. I just have gamma positions, and then I have my those different flips there as well too, and then I have that straddle cone on too. But yeah, they just updated this a couple weeks ago, so this is little newer here, a really cool little tool there with that dual view there. Um, but yeah, just kind of looking at Periscope right now. Our SPY premiums, both calls and puts are negative here. Again, it's kind of like the market tide. Yeah, and Lilu, I plan on I was actually just talking to Rich Dog about this. April's gonna be fun. I'm planning on doing a lot more live streams. I want to kind of do some earlier intraday Periscope live streams. It's hard to kind of do it power hour, especially on those zero DTEs because it gets so condensed. So I kind of plan on doing a little some of those earlier streams, and I want to do a couple weekend streams as well too. That's I'm just kind of getting everything worked out because I will be doing whale watch pretty much every Monday and Wednesday now. So that Monday, Wednesday will be for sure an early stream there with Nick and Tucker and Jay-Z every once in a while. At least for the foreseeable month there, but we'll be I do plan on like maybe like a Tuesday and a Thursday here. I'll do like an open interest morning update or something there. I mean, we'll see. I just got to see how much traction it gets within Discord here too. But yeah, you can see how price is kind of going towards those positive gamma here, and again, those are your long puts there. But if we get down to that 66.15, that's the level I'm eyeing. It's another $15 down here. Let me just reset this a little bit. It could happen there. I would look for maybe a cool off if we do get down to that level there. I probably wouldn't trade it, but with it being short puts there, obviously market makers do not want those to expire in the money. So let's take a peek at flow here. So a lot of flow kind of just coming in here, a lot of multi-leg stuff. Let's just kind of trickle through some here quick. And again, if you guys have anything you want me to look at specifically, feel free to drop it in the chat. Let's do, I'm just going to kind of do the ones that might look a little good here. So not the best fill on this one. We can look at these SIFE, the 61875 calls. They do overlap earnings, but this looks like a lot of opening volume coming in here, and you do see very kind of similar size candles here. I'm gonna guess that most of this volume should carry over, and unlike the Uber contract that we were looking at, this one I'm a little more confident in that, just because I mean you have the 1 500 there, the other 500 there, two 750s, and then a 1215 there. Now if we only had like the two 700s there, I might be a little more hesitant on that, but this looks like most of this should carry over. This is very interesting. A little longer term, again, does overlap earnings. I'm not the biggest fan of holding over earnings. It doesn't look like it's probably earnings related. And just kind of looking at that flow here too. Spot fills right at that ask there. Good size, good premium. Your IV spikes here. It's a low historic volume flow, so this name does not get a lot of option trades on here. So I mean, if I pop this out that 14 days, you don't see a lot of big spikes like Nvidia, AMD, so on there, where you see kind of more movement within there. This is something that's interesting to me. And for those OXT and Daddy Shark here, I know you guys are kind of a little newer to the streams here. If you check out that net premium gap, I do have a couple YouTube videos that are in with that in the kind of channel description at the top. If you look at that net call premium gap, usually you'll typically see price kind of tend to trend up towards that. So that's a really good channel to kind of keep an eye on. I'm hoping to actually add to that tonight. Fingers crossed we have some good ads there. So this is something that I would have eyes on here too. So good little piece of flow there. These DBs, not a good fill at all on these, so I'm a really goofy bid ask there. So we're gonna kind of pass on that. These calls a little far out here. We got 626 contracts here against 1600 on the day. So we got 982 here plus the 626. I'd probably assume these are gonna carry over here. These are very, very long dated here. Would probably put my money somewhere else instead of waiting 400 days. But again, some people like to do certain things. And let's just kind of look at our feed here. So we got that 73.19 here. So you do have small little IV drop within here. So our price is actually kind of going up with that IV dropping here. So that's kind of something I'm keeping an eye on there. I don't like seeing that IV drop with price going up. That's not always a good sign. You'd like to see IV going up with the price going up. But let's just kind of keep following this up. So small little kind of pops in here, little drop here, sorry, excuse me. Then we have a small pop here, and now we drop again, then we're dropping again. Yeah, you just see that IV kind of dropping that entire way here, and your spot is also decreasing here. I don't like these just with that IV kind of all over the place, that spot price dropping. They are obviously only 2% out of the money. They're very long dated. Again, I think you could find something more useful to put your money on there. Let's see what else we got here. So we looked at those SIFEs, the 75s. Okay, that's the same one. Yep, so the same 92 there. Okay. So we looked at that. Intel puts, let's do the 5144 put there. See if we can find a good little looking whale there. So we got call and put premiums both kind of rising here. Let's look at our flow here. Now this one, so when I talk about block trades, you'll hear me talk about that all the time. Usually I'm not a big fan of them when they come in like in a single trade like this. I do like seeing flow before, so we do have some flow before on this one. And I'm just kind of looking at that timing here. So it looks like, so we got that 12:48, 58. I'm just kind of looking through that chain here. So kind of a lot of similar timing in here. We'll have to go with that 14:46. This is the most recent one. So, and you can kind of see how that IV drops here. Not a big fan of that. How far are these out of the money? 3% out of the money. This is kind of one of those coin flip flows. I would probably lean their buy to open on these. I mean, they're 3% out of the money, and Intel's up a lot today. We are seeing a little more put volume later in the day here too. So I would probably lean buy to open on them. Again, not a super clear piece of flow, and about 90% of the flow that you look at isn't going to be super good. So just kind of keep that in mind. Let's see. Catch up on the chat here. Amazon and Nvidia puts. I saw my Nvidia puts, but I think they're going lower to fill 180.30. I saw one. Yeah, no, and it's one of those things where Powell's speaking, you're up on your trade. Honestly, the smart thing I will never be against somebody taking profits and protecting their capital. You're going to be happier in the end if you're protecting your capital and securing profits. It's better than risking it. I mean, for all we know, Powell could have came out very dovish and the market could have rocketed up, and then I should have took profits on puts. You can always get back into a trade with profits you've secured. You can't get back into a trade if you're letting those profits go to zero. So that's kind of a big thing. And you've been here long enough where you know how I am not against taking profits there. What else we got coming in here? I want to go back and visit these QBTS is actually a little bit. Okay, so we are dropping a little bit into close. Call premiums are still sticking up high though. Are we dropping still over? Oh yeah, we are selling off there. So we're getting to that 66.25, and I want to see if that periscope level changed at all here too. Let's go back here and look at this. So we are getting kind of that 66.20, 66.25-ish area here. So I am keeping an eye here because we are long puts here. I'm guessing we might see a little slowdown in price here, about that 620, 625 here. I'll zoom in a little bit for everybody. Sorry. So you can see, so we are starting to kind of get a little bounce there. So the short puts here at that 66.15, I don't. This would be my bottom level here, but usually when you see that positive gamma, price will tend to go towards that here. And these are the long puts here, so I mean they're wanting those puts to profit, so they got a good move down on those. Now we should have another update here in about a minute. This should update in a minute, so we'll see these gamma levels change, and I'm gonna stick on this page so we can see it change in real time. But I would that call premium's ticking up a little bit there too. Yeah, I would, if it was earlier in the day, I would probably be looking to grab some calls here and potentially play it up through this and target this 66.40. So those are the short calls there. I would probably target that. Again, a little late in the day. I would not be trading 0 DTEs this late into the day. But let's just kind of see this. I want to see what that update looks like here. Should update in a second, and I don't want to pop off the screen because it's going to update right when I pop off. And that's a thing with the gamma too. You get that update every 10 minutes. So this isn't updating every second. So you're seeing this data from that previous 10 minutes. So a lot can kind of change within that 10 minutes. But let's just see here. I'm waiting for it to ding here. Should be about any second now. But I do like seeing these call premiums start kind of tailing up here. Holdings want to go positive a little bit, but still seeing a lot of put volume coming in here. I do like that drop in the put premiums. Okay, so here's our update. So these white dots are going to tell you where that gamma was previously. So you get that previous 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. So this one, you saw that positive gamma really increase here. So those puts, so you're at 3,000 puts on that 66.20. So I'm going to assume we're going to probably continue on down to that 66.20. Now you did see that negative gamma here increase as well too. So those are the short puts. I'm going to assume we're going to probably come down to this maybe 66.20 to 66.25 and maybe just finish off in this little $5 range. We'll see here. We got about 7 minutes to go, and I'm going to pop open this too as well. So you got put premiums really kind of climbing now, and call premiums are kind of tailing here too. I'm actually, Lou, so I plan on doing a video here. I don't want to do the market map after, but I got a kind of little special video I plan on doing, a little education video. I want to do it in real time so I can kind of not have it scripted. But it's going to be essentially kind of finding those net call premium gaps and then using that option screener to kind of look through the higher open interest names. I just want to do it in real time so we can kind of get an idea of it. Just so you can kind of get that visual of it, and I don't want to, just already know what's good and what's not good. So I want to, like, a real-time trade thing or video there. So let's just kind of watch here. I'm just watching here. I mean, you got a lot of short puts right down here, so I don't think this 66.15, 66.20 has got to kind of be our wall here, and now you're seeing put premiums kind of tail up again. I'll say we're gonna finish about 66. Let me just take a peek at this, and this is just a guess, so do not trail this at all. But so we are. I think we're gonna finish about that. Maybe that 66.25. That is the previous low there on 313. So that could be kind of our little wall there. We'll have to see. All right, what else do we got here? So yeah, premiums kind of ticking up here a little bit, and just always zooming out on these charts is good too. When you zoom out here, I mean, like you look. Oh, sorry. We look at this intraday here. I mean, it looks kind of ugly, right? Oops, I need to put my out of the money back on. It looks ugly intraday here. You're like, oh, there's a lot of put premium coming in, a lot of call premium kind of dipping off. But again, zooming out, you are pretty flat overall here, and I'm still very suspicious with all these call inflows coming in here and a lot of put outflow. I mean, you get a little today, a little put inflow, but it's not much compared to what we've seen for outflow. So I'm really watching this. I'll take another dip on SPY and grab some longs. Oh, excuse me, my throat is getting a little dry here. All right, let's go back here and we'll kind of finish at this level. So yeah, I mean, you can see how that price is slowing down here a little bit now. I mean, obviously it's 4 minutes till close too, so that makes a difference. I hear the dog going crazy upstairs. Somebody come here. No. Crazy dog. All right, any other flow coming in here? Yeah, just some multi-leg stuff. AAL puts coming in here. We take a peek at these. So you got 6,500 there. You got 22 there. Okay, so this looks like it's opening volume. That's a pretty big spike in put premium there. Let's take a peek at these. So this, I think these may be short puts possibly here, and I will show you why. So this one, kind of one of those, again, coin flip flows, I'll call them. Your IV pops when they come in. That spot is filling at the ask, but just kind of keep following this up, You start to see that IV kind of decrease here, and it's not just on one or two contracts. It's on the last half of this trade. So again, it's kind of double, kind of conflicting numbers here, where you got that spot price rising and then your IVs decreasing here, and your price drops about a cent there. But again, when it's conflicting like that, I'm usually hands off on something like that. Again, there's plenty of other flow that you can find. I mean, they are 3% out of the money, so it's kind of close to the money to be a short there. But again, I always say you can probably find something better than that. MU, we have earnings coming up after close on those. Argo, I have not seen this name. Oh, we're already up almost 9.5% on the day. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of chasing something that's up almost 10% on the day. We'll take a peek at these and then head back to Periscope quick. I mean, I would read these as a buy. Your spot price is filling at the ask. IV spikes here. IV staying up. Spot is still filling at the ask. I mean, I would read these as a buy, but do you want to chase something that's up 10% on the day? Probably not. Yeah, the name that doesn't get a lot of action, but just a lot of call action lately. I mean, big spike. And good example here, too, is when I talk about those net premium gaps, like back here on March 5th here, you had the big gap. So it can take a little bit, but you just see big gaps. And then, again, price tends to gravitate up towards those and close those gaps at some point. So, like right now, we're pretty much at that level, so I wouldn't be looking to kind of chase this. All right, let's head back to Periscope here. We got about a minute left. Ooh, we are dropping at that 60, so we're at that 66.25 right now. Let's see what happens here. We got a minute to go. We got a minute to go. And I think... Oh, I should have marked my line there. I said 66.25, I believe. Give or take. Whatever. Close enough there. So I just want to see where we finish there. I mean, getting very close. Okay, it's going to be a little higher, but... we're finished. So, again, kind of like yesterday's stream, we pretty much finished where it targeted there. We came down, we hit the long puts in here, but we didn't drop further because you have those short puts there. So, I mean, that was, I mean, what did I say 66.25 like on exactly? I mean, we're 30 cents off. I'll take that. I'll take that any day for a estimate there. But yeah, that's kind of all I got. Sorry for the shorter stream today. Tomorrow's what, Thursday? Yeah, we'll have a full power hour stream tomorrow, so we'll get right back. Hey, Periscope's fun. I mean, I've only been really using this for about a little over a month now, and I'm just kind of trying to really master it before I start to really incorporate it with everything. But I like doing it on the live streams just so everybody can kind of see it live. It's a little different than the market tide, where that if that market tide, it's typically not going to change every 10, 15, 10 minutes, or you're not going to see big swings in that every 10 minutes. Now, obviously, if a news piece drops, that's a little different, but these this changes every 10 minutes, and these levels are very, I mean, if you're not in tune with watching this, it's different than doing updates with the market tide, because this can really change, and those premiums are constantly changing. So it's a little, I don't want to say dangerous, but harder to kind of do updates. But we'll keep incorporating it and keep making good use of it. But all right, thank you guys for hanging out. Have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you all tomorrow.